Hey, don't forget to check out the Pacific War podcast week by week in association with Kings and Generals. The following documentary is based off of an interview with Amy Rupertus Peacock, the granddaughter of General William Henry Rupertus and the author of the new book, Old Breed General: How Marine Corps General William H. Rupertus Broke the Back of the Japanese in World War II from Guadalcanal to Peleliu, co-written with Don Brown. So please go check it out at Stackpole Books and all other major booksellers, and soon to be released as an Audible book at Audible. Hey, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so I can feed my two feathery co-hosts.
I want to talk about a little bit the movement of the Pacific War after the Marines were done at Australia. In Australia, Vandegrift was called away, and now at this point, Rupertus is named as the sole commander of the 1st Marine Division. And so, as you know, Craig, the American forces were involved in this island hopping campaign, eventually to strangulate Japan and maybe even to invade. And the 1st Marines fought so valiantly that this is sort of unknown as well, but there was a political tug of war going on between Nimitz and MacArthur over who was going to command it. Yeah.
I want to hear this.
So you know that never has been a personality maybe in the U.S. military like Douglas MacArthur. At any rate, MacArthur wanted the Marines under his command. And you know, Roosevelt had a unique way of arbitrating these things, and so MacArthur got his wish, and so the Marines were initially transferred to General MacArthur's command in New Britain. Here we have New Britain, and remember a moment ago we showed that map of Noumea, which is at the northeastern corner of New Britain, which is where the Japanese Navy had consolidated. Admiral Yamamoto had gone there. He was later shot down by the U.S. Army Air Force flying a reconnaissance mission from there. But MacArthur wanted to continue strangling and tighten the Japanese. So, you know, we'd gone into Bougainville.
Do you speak Japanese? 何が聞こえたか？スナイパーだ！捨てろ！カットを引きずり出せ！奴らを追え！スナイパーがいるぞ！
They're still alive.
Yeah, no shit.
We'd taken those islands. MacArthur wanted to put a stranglehold around them by moving into New Britain on the other side. So Cape Gloucester is located at the opposite end of New Britain from Noumea. So it was, you'll appreciate this as a Canadian. I suppose you're Canadian, Craig. You're in Montreal, but I don't want to assume anything. But you.
Ah ouais, Kevin, si continue comme ça, c'est même connu.
You Canadians and your British brothers and sisters appreciate Boxing Day, and so do I. So it was Boxing Day 1943 that the 1st Marine Division under General Rupertus commences operations against Cape Gloucester. Here's a better map of New Britain. You can see it's off of the New Guinea coast, and you can see Rabaul, where the Japanese were located. So military operations were started that day under some very rough water. Remarkable photograph of the landing on New Britain. As you can see, U.S. Marines storming through very rough waters. A photograph here of General Rupertus raising the American flag once they had established a beachhead. New Britain is one of those things, when you see, if you've seen the Pacific, they call it a green monster. So I mean, the rain, the monsoons, and the rainy season were almost as much of a challenge, like they were sometimes in Guadalcanal, as were the Japanese. But some remarkable photographs of New Britain, and for
can you back up to that, John?
Go right ahead. You want last photo, Amy? Did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, go right ahead.
So here they had just captured the airport, and they're actually praying for the lives that were lost. So for the listeners who were looking at it, it's a pretty famous picture of on Cape Gloucester. There's a plane. I don't know if that's a Japanese plane, Zero, but it's on the ground, blown up. But the Marines are all, their heads are bowed underneath the American flag, and they're actually praying. There's a chaplain there, and for the lives that were lost, taking Cape Gloucester and getting the airport. So it's pretty powerful.
Just some remarkable photography. This map is showing where the Marines came in. They came in on two beaches, and the Japanese, of course, were entrenched, and so they got into a firefight there. From Suicide Creek to Hill 660, which is where the Japanese were entrenched. And it was literally like a jungle-infested hill that our Marines have to go up the side of, and it was just really rough going. When Cape Gloucester fell, the Marines received a congratulatory letter via radio from President Roosevelt, and this is a photograph of General Rupertus reading that letter to the troops. So the president, the entire U.S. military, and the Allies were very much aware of what was going on. A little closer view of that is a very moving photograph. After this is an interesting photo, because after New Britain, the Marines again needed rest, some rest and relaxation. Remember, after Solomon Islands or after Guadalcanal, they got to go to, Australia. Everybody loves Australia, unless you're locked down with COVID there now. But everybody loves Australia. But in this case, it wasn't to be. So they go to a place called Pavuvu, Pavuvu, which is a jungle-infested place and wasn't so great for the morale. But General Rupertus heard that Bob Hope was nearby at another island. What was the other island? Do you remember, Amy?
Danica.
Okay, and so the general sends for Bob Hope. Bob Hope comes over and entertains the troops on Pavuvu, and here's a shot that was taken of that with the general sitting beside Bob Hope. It was great. Probably a little before your time, Bob Hope, Craig, but I remember when Bob Hope was even in Vietnam, he was a great guy, always entertained the troops. It's an overall map of the sweep of, again, the island hopping campaign, because after New Britain, the next step was Peleliu. And Peleliu, of course, was a controversial strategic decision.
Hey, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so I can feed my two feathery co-hosts.